You can join this or VOP 961 FM across all of our social media platforms. Do well to subscribe and share.
We really appreciate that.
For the almost 1,000 of you that are currently subscribed to our channel, we're grateful. Share to your friends and your family members. It's better than sharing rumors. Now let's get into the gist for today. Federal government may pay 1.68 trillion naira fuel subsidy. Marketers forecast 900 naira per litre.
I don't want to say much about this.
I apologize for laughing. It's just, I'm laughing because we've said it.
Of course we do.
We said it here, but
Countless times.
people said we like trouble. So let's go ahead with the details of the story, shall we? The federal government may spend about 1.68 trillion naira as subsidy on premium motor spirit, popularly known as petrol, from September to December this year. An analysis of data provided by oil marketers and the sector has shown how PMS dealers stated on Thursday that the pump price of petrol should be about between 890 naira to 900 naira per litre based on the fall of the naira against the United States dollar and the surge in the price of crude oil in the international market. Now, petrol currently sells between 598 naira and 617 naira per litre, depending on the location of the purchase. Fueling suspicion is that the commodity is being subsidized by the federal government. The federal government and NNPCL have not officially admitted that subsidy on petrol has been reintroduced. President Bola Tinubu had on Monday, on May the 29th, announced ended the subsidy regime during his inaugural address. Now, the federal government subsidizes PMS through the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, as the sole importer of PMS. Other marketers stopped PMS imports due to their inability to access foreign exchange, which is also, like we all know, one of the major challenges we are facing in the country at the moment. The removal of subsidy led to an increase in the pump price of petrol from about 198 naira per litre in May to the current rate of 617 naira per litre. But the fall of the naira coupled with the rise in crude oil have continued to mount pressure on the cost of PMS. Dealers in the downstream oil sector complained that the cost of crude oil and the exchange rate of the naira dollar accounted for over 80% of the cost of PMS. Brent crude, the global benchmark for oil, rose to about $95 per barrel on Thursday. It had peaked to $97 per barrel the preceding day, which was the highest figure in 2023. Oil had started the year at about $82 per barrel, dipped to $70 per barrel in June, but traded above $94 per barrel in the last week. Now, the naira continued its downward trend after exchanging the dollar at 980 on the parallel market on Wednesday. A week earlier, the naira was exchanged to the dollar at 950 naira, which is the highest we've gone so far, 50 naira away from 1,000 naira to a dollar. However, on the FMDQ, the investor and exporter forex window, the naira appreciated slightly after closing at 770 naira 71 kobo per dollar on Wednesday from the from 776 naira 76 kobo per dollar on Tuesday.
Yeah, this is quite unfortunate where we found ourselves in this country currently. When we talk about this, I really don't want to comment much on this issue because it's something that we've kind of overflocked it, but because it is resurfacing again, and this time around with an update, and that is why we will be talking about this. Ordinarily,
I mean,
we should have
Aliu,
been
you said you don't want to say more. What is left to be said?
We should have been celebrating after the price of crude, talking about the benchmark that has gotten to $95 per barrel. But unfortunately, we are not happy. We are instead talking about paying fuel subsidy from the back door, because that is exactly what it is. We talk about this countless times on this program that there is no way the government will tell us that the price of petrol will remain the same after the sector has been deregulated. If you have deregulated that particular sector, then definitely it is no rocket science that everyone should know that the market forces or market dynamics will determine how much you sell your petrol. And the two major determinants here are what? One is the cost of crude in the international market. Secondly is the issue of forex, because that is what the marketers, major oil marketers get. They source forex before they go import the product. So those are the two key indices that determines the price. And recently, those two key indices have gone up remarkably. So how would you be able to retain the price of petrol at that 585 naira to or between that 585 and 617 naira? It is very difficult, and that is why from the past we have been saying that we believe that the government are paying subsidy behind closed doors.
Absolutely. I mean, that is the only thing that makes logical sense.
But again, a couple of days ago there was this insinuation by some quota of the marketers saying that the NNPC, who now currently as it stands are the sole importers of the product, have already stocked the products in their farm, that even if they don't import petrol from now till December, the product is not going to be short in the market. So that was why I was even thinking, okay, now I get probably yes, that's the rationale behind us not seeing an increase in the price of petrol in Nigeria. But it's quite unfortunate that we are getting to hear that the NLNG are the ones remitting money to the coffers of the NNPCL.
Absolutely.
And part of that money has been used, about $225 million has been used to pay subsidy for August alone. And if you're projecting on what is happening from now till December, we're going to be paying about 1.68 trillion naira in subsidy. Which is quite huge. And the unfortunate thing is that even if you're going to be paying subsidy of that huge sum of money, you are not still going to bring the price of petrol down, because it is still from that 585 naira to 617 naira that you now have that additional amount as subsidy. So if you're going to be wiping the regime and coming back to 195 naira per litre, then we're talking about exorbitant sum of money that probably the government don't even have. Probably
the government has said time and time again that they cannot afford.
But in all of this, it is a self-afflicted problem.
Absolutely. I was going to say the government of the day right now are left with little or no choice. Their options are very little.
Yes.
It's either you allow the market forces to determine the price, and if that happens, then you're going to be dealing with so much pressure, because the people are under enough economic pressure as it is, and they are going to break any moment. And I think that is the rationale behind the government going behind closed doors to pay the subsidy. And I'm like, instead of doing that, wouldn't it be more obtainable for them to actually put the necessary things in place to make sure that this subsidy removal works? I don't know how difficult it is to just buy buses and put them on the street at regular lesser prices and build train stations. We already have most of these facilities. Just make sure that they are in place. There's one in Idu here.
Yeah, you know, the issue of alternative means of transportation, which will go a long way in helping out of this situation that we found ourselves in this country presently. The fact there remains that the government are saying they don't have money, and really this alternative means of transportation, especially when you talk about the rail, it needs a lot of money, it needs a lot of resources, and these are not short-term solutions, they are medium to long-term solutions. Absolutely. Although you can start from somewhere. But another big problem is on the part of security. There is issue of insecurity in the part of the Niger Delta region when you talk about oil theft.
Absolutely.
Because that is what we should ordinarily be celebrating, for the fact that crude oil prices has gone up, but the fact that substantial amount or quantity of the crude is being stolen away, then how would you be happy? Definitely you'll be faced with cash crunch. The government would definitely keep complaining that they don't have money, because just like I said, I think was it yesterday or when, either earlier this morning or yesterday, that not even the United States of America will be able to survive having to deal with about 400,000 barrel of crude oil stolen daily. They cannot survive.
I mean, this is still
and
coming back to
just the figure that is being reported. We are not even sure, because I don't think they have the exact figure or exact quantity of fuel that is being taken.
Is it impossible for them to be able to trap this? No, this is us coming back to the major issue we've always had in Nigeria, putting personal interest above national interest. We have to come to a place where we understand that while you're putting in the needs of a few above the needs of the general populace, you are sacrificing the nation. A time is going to come when there will be no nation for you to even steal from. You cannot tell me that vessels of oil are being stolen and you cannot pinpoint how. How are they moving? We're not talking about jerry cans. This can be smuggled. They are too large. They should be seen. They can be seen. This can be nipped in the bud. These are problems we can have, we can come out of. Nigeria can actually be great again. We just need to be willing to do what it takes. Whoever has to go down should go down, because I feel at this point we can't afford to just sit on the fence and play with matters.
We are just doing window dressing. We are not getting
trying to be politically correct here and there.
We are not going to the root of all of this problem. You see, this issue of fuel, or rather crude oil theft in this country. Why on earth would you, from the first place, if you effect any arrest, first what the military does is to go and demolish or destroy the evidence. They destroy the vessels. Absolutely. They burn it down. Then how do you prosecute the perpetrators?
Absolutely.
There are people, because the major players will not be the ones on the field doing the real job. They are behind the scene. They are the boys. They are behind the scene. And by the time you effect those arrests, that is when you can investigate and get to the root and fish out those major big boys in the industry.
Of course.
Those who are perpetrating some of those crimes. But unless and until you start naming names and prosecuting the offenders,
the people that should be prosecuted,
is where we will get it right. Now we talk about fuel subsidy as a scam in this country. Tell me now, yes, you have removed subsidy, you have broken the cartel, in quote, you have broken the cartel. Then who are the cartels? Where are they? Name them.
Exactly.
Prosecute them.
Because look, you cannot keep saying that there's no retribution for wrongdoing and you expect wrongdoing to stop happening. That is how we got ourselves in the mess that we are in Nigeria right now.
Of course, I'm not a psychologist. I probably, by the way, I studied accounting, but I know from my friends that we interact with, there is a course in psychology at the undergraduate level. I don't know if it's still if they have it at the postgraduate level. Punishment and correction.
Absolutely.
When you punish someone, it's a means of correction.
When you punish, you correct. Another advantage of punishment is another person sees and is discouraged. Thank you. Is discouraged. Is a deterrent to other people that are watching. The reason we are in this mess is because one day some people sat down and said a monkey and a snake swallowed money or left away with money, or be rats or whatever it is, and they got away with it. Nobody was put. So now everybody feels, oh, this money is at our disposal, we can go away with it, and nothing is going to happen. And look, nobody's proving them wrong. Nothing is actually happening.
So long as you belong to the clique of those in government, you can go away with anything in this country. It's quite unfortunate. Let's quickly take a look at this story before we go on a break, because it's closely related with this one and it's not that much. Pipeline surveillance contract. Rivers communities picket SPDC, Total Energies and others. Let's see what this story is saying. Upland communities in Rivers State have picketed Shell Petroleum Development Company, SPDC, Total Energies and other oil multinationals operating in the area over their non-inclusion on the pipeline surveillance job. Under the aegis of the Association of Niger Delta Upland Communities, the communities protested at Rumokwe community in Emohua local government area of River State, demanding that parts of the pipeline surveillance contract be given to them. The association claimed that over 19.2 billion naira that would have been paid to them for about 8 months that the contract has lasted if part of job was given to them should immediately be released to the communities, adding that they have mandated General Amagbain to be in charge of all the contract negotiations. The protesters yesterday, who barricaded the access road leading to the oil facilities in the area, said they want to take part in securing the pipeline in their area. criticizing the federal government for awarding the surveillance job to one man. Secretary of the body, Wisdom Otey, said the people were not happy that they were not taken seriously in the pipeline surveillance job, adding that it was wrong for one man to be given the surveillance contract. He said, and I quote, "We are here for a peaceful protest and we want our mandates to be given to us. They should give us our right. Our mandate is being stolen by warlords. We want them to pay us the same money they have been paying for the contract because we have been securing our area. How can you bring somebody from Ijo land to secure a facility that is in our land? The Trans-Niger pipeline that supplies crude to Boni terminals comes from here and we are neglected." However, the leader of the Niger Delta upland communities, Isa Obiri, said the community would not allow oil exploration to continue if they were not drafted to take part in the pipeline surveillance. Again, you see, this is bringing us back to issue of contracting pipeline surveillance to non-state persons, actors, when you already have the state security outfit. If it were to be police, army, civil defense that are going there, nobody will ask you, say, this one is from this part of the country.
Absolutely.
This one is not from this part of the country. Again, we are creating another problem for ourselves. Let's go on a quick commercial. When we come back,
we're going to continue with stories in the stock market, in the forex market, and of course, every other thing that concerns you. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah. VOP TV. VOP TV. Yeah. VOP TV. We have been serving you hot and fresh content on radio, and you have been loving it. Now we're taking it further. Catch us live on YouTube at VOP TV for all the juicy content you can't resist. Talk shows, exclusive interviews, news, lifestyle, and more. It's all about you. VOP TV. Show up, speak up. VOP TV.
Glory to God and to the Lamb. Beauty to the throne of eternity.
Brotherhood of the Cross and Star presents the Everlasting Gospel Movement on Radio every Saturday, 6 to 7 p.m. on 96.1 FM.
Adoration, adoration to God forevermore.
It is time for spiritual rejuvenation, the mortification of the physical being. It's a whole new experience on radio. Tune in and be blessed. Thank you, Father.
Adoration.
The award-winning pizza in the US is now here in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Romeo, the pizza champions, and cold berry ice cream.
Delight in every school.
Visit any of our outlets and feel the rich taste from the pizza champions and cold berry ice cream.
At number 4, Obomosho Street,
Area 8, Geriki, Abuja, or 3rd Avenue, Gwarinpa, Abuja, or Federal Housing Estate, Phase 2, Lube, Abuja. Call 0908-831-5906 or 0908-831-5908 or 0909-238-9861. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter at romeospizza.ng.
website
www.romeospizza.ng. Romeo, the pizza champions. Are you aware that Iruka Online Limited installed and designed a 100,000 capacity church building? Oh yeah, we are the sole distributors of global leading brands all over the world, such as Wafday Line Array, speakers and digital amplifiers, Preseno's digital mixers and studio equipment, Coswell workstations and keyboards, Fender guitars, Mapex drums, Ashdown bass combos, just to mention but a few. We offer flexible payment plan handled by our financial department with 24/7 customer care support system. You can visit our website on www.iruka.com to avoid buying fake products. You can also visit our showroom at number 36 Lagos International Airport Road beside Golden Tulip Hotel. Iruka, never settle for less.
Are you traveling to Lagos and desire a perfect getaway?
Look no further than the luxurious accommodations at Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, number 42 Murtala Mohammed International Road, Lagos.
Relax and unwind in our beautiful appointed rooms, featuring all the amenities you need for a comfortable stay.
Now, whether you are traveling for business or pleasure, our attentive staff is here to ensure that your every need is met. We also offer complimentary pick-up and drop from the Lagos airport.
Why not take advantage of our state-of-the-art fitness center, outdoor pool, and enjoy a delicious meal at our on-site restaurant?
With stunning views, world-class service, and a prime location, Airport Golden Tulip Hotel is the perfect choice for your next vacation or business trip.
So why wait? Book your stay today and experience the ultimate in comfort and luxury at Airport Golden Tulip Hotel.
For bookings and reservations, please call 0815-8003-333 or 0815-7003-333. You can visit our website at airportgoldentuliphotel.com.
Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, where luxury meets comfort.
Believe me, believe me, believe me.
Baba Sani, remember that my daughter that will be getting married I told you about, and I'm sure that the cow I've asked you to keep is very ready. I don't want to hear story.
I don't tell them. Say make you no worry. If na cow, I get them.
The problem I have with you people is that you don't understand the business. How can you Okoko want to go and buy car? You now go and order from him.
Omo Igbo, whenever I want to buy meat, I usually consult our friend. Why are you not feeling that jealous?
But I'm supposed to be the distributor. That is business.
You the seller for the cow. You get them for the cow. Now your own. Both of you should not quarrel.
I am not here to quarrel. More with high chief. Talking to you is sort of my introduction. Look at this bombastic element.
Journey with us to visit 3 troublesome friends. From the east, we have the money and container man.
Yes, it is me now. High chief, you get me?
To the west, we have a man that eats only meat and loves Owambe.
I still remain your one and only Otumba Owoni Koko Agbabiaka.
All the way to the north, we have Baba Sani with his 40 children and 4,000 cows and still counting.
You are my people. Sunana Baban Asan. Na mi bonam po Asan and I get them for plenty cows.
Listen to Area Matters only on VOP 96.1 FM every weekday by 10:30 a.m.
Ever wondered why ladies gather in the powder room together? We're probably talking about you. So ladies, do you think it's right for a lady to ask a man out?
I think a woman can ask a man out, but not direct.
For me personally, I don't think people should be asking random people out.
There's nothing wrong in saying it. Say it the way it is.
Throw a little bit of green lights here.
Throwing green lights. There are some men that cannot. They are
colorblind. They
cannot see color at all.
Green lights at all. Well, get ready for unpopular opinions, conversations that will both cause wahala, entertain, and educate you. Get all the unfiltered gossips, secrets, laughs, and facts about women from VOP ladies in the powder room. Wednesdays by 7 p.m. exclusive to VOP 96.1 FM Abuja. Hey, it's a date.
Okay, ladies, now let's get information. I slay. Okay, ladies, now let's get information.
Thank you for staying with us. We're still on Business Around Town, Voice of the People, 96.1 FM Abuja. I'm still Chinwe Blessing. That's not going to change. I don't know why I said still. Well, I'm Chinwe Blessing, and of course,
I'm Aliu Doma.
All right, let's head on with the stories in the world of business. Nigeria loses 1 trillion naira yearly. 1 trillion naira yearly importing active pharmaceutical ingredients. Well, despite the capacity to locally produce active pharmaceutical ingredients and boost indigenous production of drugs, successive administrations have turned a blind eye to developing the pharmaceutical sector to provide medical security for the country. But with the naira to dollar free fall getting into the way of importation and political concerns on global reliance on China and India for API supplies, Stakeholders said Nigeria must look inwards before it's too late. Now, just before I continue with this report, I just want to quickly say, with all the agbo and the herbalist knowledge we have, with all of the herbs we have in this nation, I mean, am I the only one that used to know old women that were midwives and they birthed several children and we lost none? And we are still importing active pharmaceutical ingredients at this age and time? Well, the resource cause theory is self-evident in the local pharmaceutical industry. For each of the drugs imported into the country is at least 50% of potential active ingredients idling somewhere close by, untapped. But the alternative is importing drugs or APIs for local manufacturing. And it comes at a very huge cost that is now too heavy for the affordability of Nigerians and Nigeria. Available data shows that Nigeria loses more than $1 billion, which is equivalent to ₦1 trillion yearly, importing the same from India and China. We are literally a nation that is bedeviled by importation, and until we do something about it and become a producer of anything at all, we're going to keep this fast nosedive, because we're really nosediving into, I don't know,
our over-reliance on importation
darkness.
is really too much in this country, and this is something that a lot of experts have been talking about in all sectors. It is not only one sector that we rely so much on importation. Almost all the sectors in this country we rely so much on importation, either the finished goods or the raw materials that we need to produce the final goods. We rely so much in there. But again, you talk about issue of R&D, which is one area that government need to up their game, research and development. A lot of times it's not as if we don't know the availability of those raw materials, but how well have we as a country invested in research and development for us to even understand how we can tap the untapped potential in that sector or in those sectors. We talk about the pharmaceutical sector now. Yes, whatever you are importing, or most of the materials, raw materials we import, or the finished goods, if you look around locally, there are the materials are there yet untapped. But have we researched enough to understand all the nitty-gritty in that particular sector? That is the biggest question we should be asking, and that is why we talk about the role of government in all of these. That a lot of times we talk, it's not as if we are bashing the government or we are saying the government are not trying, but there are roles that the government need to play before the private sector will come and also augment and thrive. What I mean here is that the government need to create the enabling environment. When you research and you develop, the people are already sure that, okay, this is the opportunity in this particular industry. If, for instance, as an individual now, someone is inviting you to come and invest in their idea, when you are yet to understand what the idea is all about, you will be reluctant to invest because you feel as if you are wasting your money.
Absolutely.
But if at all the person has already set up the business plan, have already identified everything that the business needs to thrive, the only thing that you need is what the investment in it, then you easily come and invest, because this is already a viable venture for you to go into. So in all of this, the government need to set up the atmosphere for other private sector individuals or even foreign direct investors that will be coming to the country to come and invest in that sector. I think that will go a long way, but the environment, the atmosphere is what is lacking.
It has to be right. I mean, we know that Nigerians are naturally hustlers. Nigerians know how to put in their energy into whatsoever it is that Nigerians are committed, okay, to thrive. We want to succeed. We have that in us. But the problem that most of us end up facing is we don't have the environment, and that is why we are experiencing a brain drain at the moment. We are having professionals, we are having individuals that have the capacity to build the nation, leave the nation, to go thrive elsewhere where they can find that environment. And this is why we are heavy on the government. Even as the media, we're doing this because we know you have the ability to help us retain the people that can help this nation grow. All we are asking you to do is provide an enabling environment.
And over time, I have people asking, when we talk about enabling environment, they start asking you, what do you mean by providing enabling environment for businesses to thrive? If, for instance, now you want to start up a business, don't you think you need electricity? That is part of it. Don't you think you need good access road? Don't you think you need good water for your business? Don't you think you need good tax administrative laws in place?
Absolutely.
Don't you think that you need a lot of things that government will provide? You know, now we talk about fuel subsidy. God, it has virtually affected every facet of our business. Every part of our lives have been affected.
Of course.
So those are part of the environment that we're talking about. Decisions, policies, are they friendly enough to accommodate or to encourage people to invest their hard-earned resources in that sector? That is what we're talking about.
That's exactly what we say when we say, that's exactly what we mean when we say enabling environment. And I feel like the government owes it to the Nigerian people. The population didn't put you in that position just to change your cars and have fleets and decide to go. And in fact, these days I pay more attention. I used to pay more attention to the governors and the presidents and, you know, the commissioners and whatnot, but now I'm paying more attention to the assembly, because the members of the assembly create the laws, they create the policies to make sure that things thrive. It's not just about going there to sit down and collecting heavy allowances. You have a responsibility to the people. We can't keep importing everything, down to toothpicks.
And you know, it's the fact is that we are here in the FCT, and that is why we talk about National Assembly here. But I want to also extend this to our listeners outside FCT or our viewers who are watching us on YouTube all over the world or all over the country, that it is your responsibility, your civic responsibility, to monitor what your state assembly members are doing.
Absolutely.
Because some of us that are here, or most of us that are here talking here, we all come from other states to the Federal Capital Territory. In as much as what the National Assembly will do will affect all of us, that is talking about completely the nation entirely, but we should also follow and monitor what is happening at the state assembly level.
Absolutely.
Because we tend to not focus on those people there, and they just do whatever
feel like
they doing.
Their responsibility is not to give you money because your wife is giving birth. And I feel like we need to learn that, because now we are giving them room to have excuses to do whatsoever it is that they want to do. Because you find out that a lot of people are visiting and say, oh, my children we don't have school fees, my wife is about to give birth. That's not their responsibility. Their responsibility is to sit down on the issues that concern you, the actual issues that concern your communities, and create the right laws so that we can be able to have the environment where we grow. It's about time Nigerians stop being so lackadaisical about national issues and start being very proactive about them. That being said, let's look at all the stories.
In case you just joined, this is Business Around Town on Voice of the People, 96.1 FM Abuja. Let's quickly take a look at the Central Bank of Nigeria. This one says CBN postpones MPC meeting, keeps mum on new date. The Central Bank of Nigeria has postponed the Monetary Policy Committee's 293rd meeting, which was scheduled for September 25th and 26th, 2023. A statement by the bank's Director of Corporate Communications, Dr. Isa Abdul Mumin, said on Thursday. The statement reads, and I quote, the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria has deferred its 293rd meeting scheduled for Monday and Tuesday next week. A new date will be communicated in due course. We regret any inconvenience this change may cause our stakeholders and the general public. Although the Apex Bank did not provide any reason for the postponement, some operators said it was connected to the newly appointed governor and deputy governors of the bank that had not yet been approved. Earlier, President Bola Tinubu nominated Yemi Cardozo to head the CBN. Tinubu also approved the nomination of 4 new deputy governors of the Apex Bank to serve for a similar duration of 5 years in the first instance, pending their confirmation by the Senate. The nominees are Usoro, Muhammad Abdullah Hidetijo, Philip Ikiazo, and Bala Bello. However, the appointment of the CBN governor is subject to confirmation by the Senate, which is still on an annual recess.
We're looking forward to seeing the end of this matter, just like we're looking forward to seeing the end of several other matters. And I would like to say real quickly before we move on to the next segment that these people need to we know that you're putting in a lot of work, but you came in to do much more work. they have their work cut out for them more than any other administration have, and the sooner that they understand that, the better, because the place that this country is, we cannot afford to lose it. Several African nations are starting to lose their democracy, and it's starting to look like a madhouse, and I do hope it doesn't extend here. Let's look at the next segment.
Hey, what's going on in the stock markets today?
Well, the trade volume has hit 1.12 billion on NGX. The daily volume of trade on the Nigerian Exchange Limited increased by 98% to 1.12 billion units on Thursday, as investors lost 35 billion naira at the close of the trading session. The volume of traded equities reported on Wednesday stood at 566,631,350 units worth 5.39 billion naira, despite the surge in the volume of trade. Now, the value of trade on Thursday only increased by 8% to 5.82 billion naira. The total number of deals fell by 3.07% to 7,949. Based on NGX data, the surge in the volume of trade was driven by universal insurance, which had 6,609 million, 12,278 million units of its shares worth 134.21 million naira traded in 148 deals. Owando PLC followed with 687,873 units of shares valued at 1.46 billion naira exchanged in 1,656 deals. Other stocks with high volume of trade include Japal Gold with 738,795 units worth 43.39 million naira. Access Core with 40,144,810 units of shares valued at 681.95 million naira, and UBA with 32,450,979 million units of its shares worth 552.75 million naira traded on the exchange. Both in market capitalization and the NGX all-share index dipped by 0.09% at the close of the trading session to 37.365 trillion naira and 68,271.14 basis points. The bears dominated trading session with 30 losers as against 20 gainers. Top gainers include John Holt, whose shares appreciated by 9.55% to close at 1.72 per 1 naira 72 kobo per unit. Omatech and Dia Communications gained 9.52%, each to close at 46 kobo and 23 kobo respectively. Mutual Benefits Assurance PLC gained 9.30% to close at 0.47, and Sanu Assurance's stocks rose 9.09% to 96 kobo per unit. On the losers table, Owando led with 9.93% depreciation, close at 13 naira 15 kobo per unit. Lasako lost 9.71% of its share value to close at 1 naira 86 kobo. Charms shares dipped by 9.59% to close at 1 naira 32 kobo, and then Northern Nigerian Flour Mills PLC shares lost by 9.23% to 15 naira 25 kobo. Tantalizer's share depreciated by 8.57% to close at 32 kobo per unit. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has called on foreign investors to bring their capital into Nigeria, saying his administration is working on easing the free flow of capital. Tinubu stated this just before he rang the closing bell of Nasdaq New York a ceremony organized by United States Chamber of Commerce, Nigerian Exchange Group PLC, and the Nigerian Investment Promotion Council on Wednesday night.
All right, quite comprehensive there with 30 losers and 20 gainers. Even though we thought things would start to get better, especially after the appointment of Yemi Cardozo as the CBN governor, which of course it started having a positive reflection, but unfortunately things are taking a different dimension. Let's quickly take a look at this one that says FMDQ secondary market posted 17.68 trillion naira turnover in August. This is a monthly update for the FMDQ coming in talking about the security exchange market. Turnover at the FMDQ security exchange market stood at 17.68 trillion naira in August. The figure represents a month-on-month decrease of 11.24%, which amounts to 2.24 trillion naira less than the figure in July 2023. This was revealed in its monthly market report obtained by The Punch on Thursday. The report showed a year-on-year increase of 13.84%, 2.15 trillion naira higher than the figure recorded in August 2022. Breakdown of turnover showed that spot market to aggregate turnover at 16.54 trillion naira, while the derivatives market added 1.14 trillion naira to the figure in August 2023. Within this spot forex market, turnover amounted to $4.37 billion, which is equivalent to 3.34 trillion naira, experiencing a month-on-month increase of 6.13%, which translates to a decrease of $0.29 billion compared to July of 2023 with 4.66 billion. According to the report, the naira appreciated against the dollar in the forex market during the review period in 2023, and the exchange rate of the naira to dollar decreased by 0.85%, amounting to 6 naira 46 kobo to the dollar, and closed at an average of 763 naira 4 kobo to the dollar. This was a significant change from the 769 naira 51 kobo recorded in July 2023. The naira traded within a range of 738 naira 18 kobo to 789 naira 8 kobo, according to the FMDQ.
Here is our business quote for the day.
It's good to have money and the things that money can buy, but it's good too to check up once in a while and make sure you haven't lost the things that money cannot buy. It's a weekend. Check up on your friends and family this weekend, and then we continue to hustle, of course, on Monday. But we can continue the hustle in the weekend too. But just check on your friends and family anyway.
That's the size of our package for today on Business Around Town on Voice of the People 96.1 FM Abuja. Do well to go check out